All right, everybody, this is going to be a Flash tutorial using Flash Professional 8 and ActionScript 2 to create this little quiz item I've got here, this animated quiz item. It's going to take some little bit of graphics work, although I'm really not a great graphic artist here. But it's going to take some graphics work and some coding and probably a rather long video. I'm not sure if this is going to be split into two parts or what. But this is what we're going to be making. It's a true-false little animation thing here that I made for my grade 10 science students. And it's going to go like this. So you can read this info here, start the quiz. This is the check button. This is going to be an animated button, and it's going to move this ball here. And so I'll show you how this works. Just like that. So it goes down, and when it gets to this spot, we're going to have that light up. And then we can move forward with these depressible buttons. And there's our question number 1. Normally, air enters the esophagus on its way to the lungs. So we're going to check and see whether or not that's true or false by pressing the check button. And this one is false. Okay, so when it goes over to that side, it's going to light up red. And like I said earlier, when it goes over to this side, it's going to light up green. So it's going to take us a while to do the graphics and the animation and then coding this thing. All right, so let's get started with this. All right, first of all, this is the file, as you can see here. I've got a number of layers here, and I've decided that I was going to do this with a number of different frames, not all in one frame. A number of different frames. It's still, the file size for this is about 35K. For, I believe it is 29 or 30 questions. So, I mean, you know, with that animation, that's reasonable for me. That takes like nothing to load that. So I'm not dealing with a preloader, and I'm not putting it all on one frame. It's a lot easier for me to just edit quickly right here. And as you can see, there are keyframes just for the numbers. So as we go through, the numbers will go up 1, 2, 3, etc. And I'm also going to change the question as we go up. All right, so you can see a question there. You get a different question there, and this way I can also change the next and the back buttons. Just keep pasting instances of these things again and just changing the code on them. And the same thing with the check button. It's easy to do this, relatively easy to do this. So, first little while is going to be drawing the graphics for this, all right? So, here we go. I'm going to start a new file. And I'm going to make it, I think, probably, for this one, 700 by, let's go with, whoops, not 700Q. What's that? 700 by 700. And I'm going to go for 30 frames per second. And I'm going to keep the background white for now. All right, and I'm going to start drawing on this first layer. I'm going to grab the circle or oval tool, turn off my fill, and just have a stroke on. And I want it around 3 for the time being. And draw a nice big circle here in the middle. Okay, so I got that. Now, let me have a look at this. Okay, so I'm going to take that, edit, copy, edit, paste in place. I'm going to enlarge that. Something like that. And I'm going to have, this is going to be a little screen in here. Now, coming back to this one again for a second. Got that. So I'm going to go out again on this. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. I want that outer ring. Maybe a little bit bigger, like that. I might have to resize the whole thing. So I'm going to do that, and I want to cut away some of this as well. So I want to be able to center this up good. So I'm going to go ahead and convert this to a symbol. And I'm going to call this just body. That's going to be the body of my interface. I'm going to name the layer body. And I think we will go right into this, and now I can see that little thing there. Now, what I want to do is I want to cut through here. So let me just think for a second how I'm going to do it exactly. I'm going to grab the rectangle, and I'm on another layer. I create another layer. So by the way, I'll come back to this. I'm going to call it body there. And go back up to this other layer. And I just want to think about this for a second. Is that a rounded rectangle? Let me double check that. Put that at 0. Let's say I do something like this. Let me grab that. And I'm just going to eyeball this. You know, it's not going to be perfect or anything. So I want to cut through this to that layer there. I just want to cut that one. So what I might do is take this layer here and just grab this one, edit, copy, and I'm going to bring it up, edit, paste in place. I'm actually going to delete it from this layer. So I've only got it on this layer here. And I'm going to take the rectangle and I'm going to bring it down and paste it on that layer so that I can cut away that piece and that piece. And let's get rid of this stuff, make sure I did what I wanted to do. I think I did. Kind of want to keep that one actually. Yeah, I could have done it that way, but I didn't. Okay, whatever. That's good. This will still work out. The interface isn't going to be exactly the same. All right, so I got that, and I'm going to take this now. I'm going to put it back on the body layer. Okay, and I'll leave those layers because I'm going to use them in a minute. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to take my line tool, 3, and I want to draw straight across to there. And I don't want to mess up the circle too much. Just want to nudge it back, make sure everything's lined up nicely. Okay, good enough. Okay, that's good. I'll do another one over here. And let's join these up nicely without ruining my circles. Okay, that's not bad. I don't think anyone's ever going to notice anything. And I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. Just like that. And that. Hopefully that's okay there. Okay, one more. Right here. Make sure that's touching. And that's touching. Okie doke. All right. And let's see if everything's working and try filling that with white. Yeah, that worked. So filling that one with white. Okay. Just mousing over it and I can see that cross so I know that it's working. Okay, let me see where I'm at now. Cool. All right, well, this is still the body. So I want to fill the inside here with black. And I grab this stroke and I'm going to make this, you know, a bit lighter there, so it looks like a little bit of a bevel. So let's have a look at that so far. Okay, that's looking kind of cool. Let's go ahead and save this now. File, save as. I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to call this tutorial 2. Okay, let's come out of there for a second. Okay, there we go. All right, now let me have a look at the other one for a second. All right, I want that gray color. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill this in. Oops, I got to go back into the symbol. Came out of the symbol. There we go. I want to fill this in with not that color. I want it a little bit different than the stroke, so let me lighten the stroke up by 1, just like that. Check it out. Oh, that's starting to look kind of cool, eh? Okay, so far so good. Now, that's the body, and let's go out of the body for a second. There's the body. Let's go up here, save it. Let's do some design element type stuff here. Let's add some screws to this. Not that they would necessarily do anything, but let's do it anyhow. All right, I'm going to zoom in here, And I am going to do them in white for now. Black there, maybe a stroke of 2. Okay, and let's just see what happens if I do this. Nothing too big. Okay, something like that. Position it a little bit. All right, and I'm going to use the line and come in a little bit closer, and we're going to just draw something that looks like a screw. Like that. I'll grab that one. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. We'll rotate that around. Okay, good enough. Grab it, modify, convert symbol, call it screw. And let's zoom out and see what that looks like at 100%. Yeah, I like that. So let's put another one. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Let's bring that down here. Get it roughly the same distance. Looks okay. All this stuff can be adjusted later. So let's edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Come on over to this side. And okay, looks pretty good. Save it, test it. All right, it's looking good. I'll probably have to reduce the size of this whole thing. All right, well, let's design the ball that's going to go around here. All right. So now, actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'll actually this time cut these screws and put them right on this level. Okay. So it's body with the screws. And I might just reduce this in size. Let's try this. Let's go for 80. And everything will go down. Yeah, that looks okay. All right. Just so I got a little bit of room to work with. I can always bring it up again if I want to. Okay. Let me just see how it's looking in the middle of the page. Just because that thing's got to go around. Okay, now, I'm going to save this as my actions layer because I'll be using that layer later. I'm even going to put a stop in there right now, just for the fun of it. Okay, we'll get an action script a little bit later on. Okay, so we're coming up here. I'm going to lock this layer, and I'm going to create that ball thing. Now, the way I did this is it's got a little bit of thickness to it. So let's zoom in here. Oops. Let's go way up. Yeah, so I used a rectangle and a ball. Okay, good enough. Okay, so I'm going to grab the rectangle. I'm going to stick with white for now. Make sure that's off. Okay, I'm going to come to another layer. And I'm just going to draw some kind of rectangle like this. I think maybe I'll come all the way down to here for now. Okay, like this. And I'm going to center that on that dot a little bit if I can. And I'll go up to another layer and I'm going to draw a ball. And I'm on another layer and the other one's locked, so I'm not going to worry about anything interfering. Let's say I do it like that. All right. I actually want this at about 3. And I kind of want that at about 3 for the time being. Nah, I'll leave that as 2. Okay, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I might want that below. Let me cut this, and then it kind of looks like it sticks in. So I want it on the front. Kind of want it, oops. Let's go back to the ball. Let's zoom in here. I can't see anything. Yeah, let's get the stroke for that thing the same. All right, let's leave it all as 3 for the time being, and I might even just bring these down. It's just like that, so it looks reasonable. Okay, so let's put these together. Convert it to a symbol. I'm going to call this ball. I'm just going to do that. Let me get rid of that for the time being. Okay, now we are going to do some graphics on this ball, so let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to lock that layer. No, that's the ball. Okay, and we're going to come up. We're going to put some artwork. I like to call it dirt or whatever. Let's zoom right in, and I'm going to come along here. Black. Go to the smallest one I got, and I just like to do this kind of stuff. Really not a good graphic artist or anything, so I'm just messing around here, as you can obviously tell. But from a distance, you know, it ends up looking all right. I don't know about that. I don't know if that one looks any good, but you know, that kind of thing. But let's make sure actually this is filled in. Was it filled in the first place? Well, yeah, that was the ball. Yeah, okay, it is. And I'm gonna put come back to here. I'm gonna put a nice big circle, maybe bigger than that, even bigger than that. Just put a big black circle right there. Okay, just for the fun of it. Yeah, we're going to do some more stuff with this. So let's Control S. Let's come up here, grab the rectangle, and let's go for around a rectangle of 10. Let's do a lighter color this time. Actually, not too light, maybe medium. And I'm just going to draw some of this kind of stuff here. That's another layer, so I can move that. You know, that kind of thing there. I'll bring it up a little bit. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. I'm going to do another one. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Do another one. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place. Do another one. And you might be saying, well, why are you going into the body there? Well, when it swings around, some of those are going to show. So that's probably good enough as it is. And I still want to do one more thing though, here, on there. I want to add a bit of another color. So I'm going to come up here, just on this layer, up to just about maybe there. And I want to add either that color or another color. That'll give it a little bit of a I didn't need to debug that. A little bit of a gradient there. Okay, well, for the moment, that's okay. That's what it's kind of going to look like. Save it. So this whole thing is going to move. And what I want to do is I want to take the center point here, and I want to bring it right down to the middle, so that when I move it, it can go to there. All right, and it might not be perfectly in there, and it can go to there. Okay, now let's see, if I nudge it up a tiny bit and then I turn it, is that better? That looks pretty good. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we got that going on. Save it. Okay, let's time out for a second. We're going to keep it going here. Yes, we're going to keep it going there. I want to do a little bit more on this, though. Let's make it look even cooler. Okay, let's come up to here, and what are these? These are like the rings, I'll call it. Rings. Okay, lock that, open that up. Just onto this stuff, I'm just going to take a circle. I want it too small, I don't want it too big. Maybe one more. Okay, I'm not going to do this exact. Oops. I just want a dot there and there. A little bit more equal than that. Still not. There. I'm not doing this exactly. It's going to have some imperfections. That's okay, though. Oh, there. Okay, just to get, give a sense. That looks kind of cool, right? Okay, now, by the way, the ball, of course, is going to be underneath the body. So when it rotates, you know, we're going to see it's going to do that kind of thing, right? Or over to that side. Okay, so that's what we're going for. The next thing that I think I'm going to want to do is I want to make the little pieces that fit in here that are going to change color when the ball gets over to there. So to do that, I'm going to go into the body of this thing. Lock up the ball layer. Oh, okay, we already got it. And I'm going to grab that piece, edit, copy it, and I'm going to bring it up above the body because I don't want to mess around with it. And I'm just going to tab it out a bit, and that's actually a good distance for me. So let's zoom in on that. Let's hide the body, and I just need to make this go. I just want to make this a solid piece. So I'm going to come back here like this and try not to adjust the shape of this too much. Oops. Oops, that's changing it a bit. That's going to be okay. Okay, and I'm just going to join these up. All right, I'm just trying to create a solid shape that I can fill. And just make sure that it fits behind the body. Let's bring the body back. Yeah, that'll fit there behind the body. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to fill these with a color, just a test right now. Let's bring that underneath so that, there we go, so I can get a fill in there. And it's gonna look like that. And I'll probably leave it like that color too. We'll see what it looks like against the background. Let's convert that. I'm gonna call this my what did I call it before? No, I'll call it marker. Okay, it's gonna be a marker. Okay, markers, because I'm gonna be doing another one. So I'm gonna grab that, edit, copy, edit, paste in place, modify. Let's flip it horizontally and let's move it out to the other side. Whoops. Now let's get the right side. Let's say I go right to the edge of the screw. How's that look? And right to the edge of the screw. Something like that. Does that look balanced? The edge of the screw there. Edge of the screw there. That's not the edge of the screw. There it is there. Okay, we'll do it a little bit higher there. We'll try that. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, that's okay. I mean, it's a design preference, whatever you think. You could do 2 layers if you wanted, but okay, so if that was the case, then we'd come back here, and now let me just double check when I rotate this, you know, it's going to be in behind that, so that's fine. And it's going to be in behind that, that's fine. And it goes up there. Great. Okay, so everything's going well. Okay, now. Oh yeah, there are my screws. Great. So we're moving on here. We're doing pretty good. I guess we should do some buttons, right? We're going to need a check button, and we're going to need some back and forward buttons. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's just go up a layer for now, and I'm going to grab white and my black, and I think I'm going to come down to a stroke of 2, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and let's say right up near the top we're going to have a check button. So let's start drawing that out. So, you know, this one's going to be relatively big, so let's do it there. Actually, I'm gonna drag it out here so we can see everything a little bit better. Let's go ahead and call this check BTN, check button. I'll name that layer as well, check BTN. And let's go into that Let's grab this, edit, copy, edit, paste in place, and let's drag it out. I'm going to be making this button actually smaller than this. Okay, we're going to go up to about there. And I want to fill that with just a light gray there. That's good enough for now. And I'm going to draw a check mark using the line tool. Let's try 3, see how that works. And I'll do it on another layer just to make sure I don't screw it up. So I'm going to go like that and like that and manipulate it. And we'll see what this ends up looking like. That's going to be too thin for my purposes. I'm going to try 5, see if that works. And bring it down. Does that look like a check mark to you? I don't know. Something's odd about that. Check mark? I don't know. What am I not seeing? All right. Well, you know, let's assume it's good enough. Maybe that is a bit too long. Okay. Well, let's just go with that. You can mess around with this all day, right? I'm going to take this and I'll put this right back on the same layers. No problem with that. Paste in place. Okay. Now, so this is my button and it's going to depress. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that one there because that's going to make it blend into the body when I move it over better. And I'm going to take all of this. Actually, before I do that, this is going to be my button layer. I'm going to do actionscript on this so that it can depress. So I'm going to say actions there. I'm going to put a stop in this first frame. And I just need, and one more frame, I'm going to put F6 to enter a keyframe. And drag that stop over to there. And in this spot here, that's where I'm going to get all of this and the stroke. And we're going to make it smaller. Transform, scale, and rotate. Let's try 80. Okay, so like depress into there. Okay, so in that frame, I don't want to lose that area there. So I'm going to do that. So it's going to be like this, right? And you press it in. Okay, let's save that. Let's go back out. And let's bring that over here and see. Well, let's make it work, all right, so that we can really see how we're enjoying this tutorial so far. So open up my actions window and I'm going to say on press. On press. This dot go to and stop to. So that means when I press it, go to the second frame, which is the animation, and it'll go in. And then I'm going to say on release, this dot go to and stop back to 1. So when I press the button, it's going to go in, and when I release, it's going to come back up. Save that, check that, and let's check it out. Let's give this a try. See? Goes in and out like that. This is a bit big, this button, so let's reduce this now. Let's bring it down to 80. Save it, check it out. That's not bad. I don't know about that stroke, but yeah, it's good enough. I mean, you could do all kinds of design elements on there. Okay, so that's working now, you know, roughly in that position, I guess. Now, we're also going to have to make forward and back buttons. And so what I'll do is let's just copy this. Let's try this. Copy this. And before we do anything else, let's duplicate this, and let's call this next BTN. Now, by the way, these are buttons, but I'm making them as, you know, not as a button graphic, but as a movie clip. So that's the next button. I'm going to come up here. I'm cutting it from that layer. I'm going to have it on a separate layer. Paste in place. This is going to be for the next button. And let's go inside here and let's go to the first frame. And let's get rid of that. Okay, now I want an arrow, so I'm going to come up and I'm going to draw my arrow. I want a black fill. I want no stroke, and I don't want any roundedness, so I'll get rid of that. And I'm going to draw over here. It doesn't matter where you draw. That might be a bit small. I'm going to drag this corner in until it snaps, and I'm going to rotate it and just move it more into place. And I am going to make that a bit bigger. Okay. Whoops. Let's go this way like that, and then bring it back. I may have made it a bit too big, so maybe I'll just go modify, transform, scale and rotate, say 94. One more time. Transform, scale and rotate 94. Okay. All right, good enough. Let's put a stroke on this, a light stroke, but very small, just one. Just to, it kind of looks like it's set in there a little bit now. I'm actually going to clear this keyframe here and put another keyframe there. And now I will, what have I done? I'm going to grab that first. Paste the arrow on that layer. So I got that. And now I'm going to grab the that, all that stuff except for the background. And actually, let me drag that over to that layer. And I'm just going to make this stuff smaller now. Modify, transform, scale and rotate. Can't remember how small the other one went to. I don't know if it was 80. That might be a little bit small. Let's go 85. Scale and rotate. 85 for when it's depressed, and I want to fill in this space here, and so that button's going to look like that. Okay, so that's okay. Let me just see if that arrow looks like it's straight in there. Sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. That one goes pretty far. It doesn't matter if they depress a different distance or different size. That's okay. Anyways, well, I'm kind of stuck with that arrow right now the way it is, so that's okay. Edit. Actually, let me make that a little bit smaller in general. Modify, transform, scale and rotate. I'll just go 90. Actually, do it again. Modify, transform, scale and rotate. 90. Let's copy that now. Paste in place. Let's move it over. And twist it around. Okay, so these I'm going to move right down here. Okay, they're going to be my back and forward buttons. And I'm going to touch the edges right there so I kind of get a sense of the centeredness. So that, and then I'll just bring them up a little bit. Okay, save it. Check it out. Debug it. Okay, I don't really want them that close, so tap that one that way, tap them that way, save it, test it, something like that. Okay, I'm not super crazy about the stroke here. I could try and mess around with it and see. Maybe I will just for 2 seconds. That's 2. All right. Just for the fun of it, what if I change the color of that? And I do the same on that one. Oops. Let's see what that looks like. You might think that looks better. You might not. I don't know. We could go with that. Should I do that and let's say on the other one too, just for the fun of it? Why not? Okay. I don't remember which one I used. This is going to be a long video. Test it out. Yeah, it looks pretty decent. This one's depressing further than these ones. That's fine. That's having fun. Okay, so where are we at? Next button, check buttons. Okay, those are good. Okay, so save it. Let's have a look at where we're going. All right, I got a plan now. Let's start to make this look a little cooler now. Let's go and change the background color to maybe that color gray. Let's go into the body and start a new layer. Drag it down right to the bottom. Make this black. Get rid of the stroke, ellipse, and drag out an ellipse underneath that. And move it around a bit. Okay, let's convert it to a symbol. Call it I'm just going to call it shadow. I'll name this as shadow. Let's lock that layer and come out. Lock that layer, save it, have a look. Okay, I'm gonna have to adjust that, but now it's starting to look kind of cool, right? Okay, now, boom, 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 boom. What are we gonna do next? We need to put some questions in here, and let me take a break for a second and see what we're gonna do. Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's just a pet peeve, a design thing for me, but I kind of find this rim here it's too big. So I want to take this and I want to extend it back a little bit. You know, like that might be too much. Let me do that again. Let me zoom in and do it just a little bit. You know, even something like that. And I'm going to come back over here with black and save that and have a look at that. And that just gives me a little bit more screen real estate. And I could even tone down this. And is that one? What's that color? How's that look if I do that? I'm not thrilled with that. No, I think maybe I do need this one here. In fact, let me try 2 instead of 3. Might not be as in your face. No, you know what? I do actually like the 3. Okay, I do. For now. Okay, so I made that adjustment there, and that means, of course, that all of these buttons can be positioned a little bit better. And all this, of course, will be based on when I get the question in there, see what that looks like. So let's actually do that. Let's put a question in there and see what it's going to look like. So I'm going to come right up to the top and grab my text tool and whatever font you want to work with, and I'm going to start writing something. So this is going to be the beginning of the quiz. So we're going to say start quiz, like that. I'll come down and say press check mark to test, let's say, and forward arrow to proceed. Now, does that make sense? Okay, first of all, let's change it to white. And, just to adjust your font size based on, how much room you've got. Let's see, what if I do that? Okay, so let's get this in a nice position. Okay, so let's say it looked like that. Control, test movie. I don't know, that looks okay to me. You could always adjust this. You grab your text, come over to this thing, and for line spacing, put 0 or -2 or something, and just squish the text together a bit. But I like it centered. Okay, so I've got my text on center, and I think it looks pretty decent there. The other thing that I want to do is this is going to be the questions layer, so I'm just going to name that. And I'm actually going to convert this to a symbol, and I'm going to call this, let me call this Q0 for question 0. It's my intro. And I'm going to reference it. I've got giving it an instance name just in case I need to do that later. So I've got that. I'm going to lock that layer, and I'm going to come up here, and I'm just going to have a layer called text. And I'm going to come over to the side, and I'm going to write a T. I'll find a good size for this. maybe 35. And I'm just going to get it, you know, roughly centered. And then I'm going to bring another one over here. And that one's going to be false. And I'll just check my positions in a bit and see if that's too close to the edge or not. I don't know, maybe a little bit. All right, I'm going to color this one in green for true and red for false. I'm going to save that. Control, test the movie. All right, so when the ball comes down, this one's going to turn green, and it just shows that that's the true side, and this is the false side. All right, it's looking pretty good. This part of it, to me, to my eye, is looking pretty bare, so it could use some kind of design aspects to it. So we'll see if we can do that if we have time in this video or not. So I got that going there, and we're going to be getting close to coding this thing, I'm telling you. So, okay. We need to animate this ball to come over to this side. All right. And so I think we should start to look into that now. So let's go over to here. Let's put an actions layer in here. Some people like to do it in caps there. Let's right off the bat put a stop in there. Okay. So there's the ball. And the ball is going to move. And it's going to move counterclockwise, and it's going to show up in that position. And we're just going to see how many frames to do that. Now, let me just go ahead and hit F5 and put some frames into there. And if I put a stop there, actually, I don't think I'm going to be putting a stop there. Clear that. Let's put F6 there, and let's move the ball to that position, just like that. Let's put a motion tween, and it's going to go, let's get off there. It's going to go like this. All right. Now, what I want it to do is I want it to stay in that position for a while. So I'm going to 15. I'm going to come up here to 25. Another 5. I can put a keyframe there. And then from that point, I want it to go back. Okay, so I want it to stay for a little while, then I want it to go back. So I've gone from 1 to 15. I'm going to go from 25 to 40. I think if my math is right. And I'm going to put, I'm actually going to grab this one, and I'm going to drag it over. That's back to the start position, motion tween. And that's going to bring it back. So it's going to go down to there. It's going to hold. And then it's going to come back. And at that point, I'm going to put a keyframe, and I'm going to say stop. Okay, now save that. This is the animation for true. It's going to come up to here, go true. So what I need to do is I need to come up and put labels. And I'm going to name this spot. So if the question is true, I want it to play this animation. The way I'm going to tell it to do that is by, say, I'm going to come in here on the label line. I'm going to put a keyframe, and I'm going to call this true. All right, I'm doing it one into the animation because it's going to stop there. And if I say, okay, play true, I don't want it to start at the stopped spot. I want it to start from there and go, okay, play true. I'll go right to there and then go all the way down, and it'll come back. All right. Now, there's more that I'm going to want to do, but let's do the other part. Let's do the false. So if from 1 to 15 was the original one, where am I? Was that 40? 40 to 55. Actually, I want to leave myself a little bit of room here. All right, so I'm going to go out to 60. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, get rid of that motion tween. There, that one's done. From here, from this position, I'm going to start is that what I want to do? Is that what I want to do? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I can start wherever I want. 40 to 55 would be fine. And then I'm going to go on further. Okay, so from 40 to 55. So the next one is going to start, for example, if it's false, I'm going to start there. Let's go false. All right, and it's going to go from there, and it's going to go to 55. So I'm going to put my keyframe here at 55. All right, and it's going to go from here to here. So let me grab that, grab the ball. Okay, and I'm going to rotate it this way. Motion tween. Okay, so it'll come up, it'll stop there, and then it'll come down here. And let me just double check something. Okay, that second ring goes under the rim just a tiny bit, and then it shows up. Let me just make sure that it looks the same here. Second rim is under. Yeah, it's pretty symmetrical. Okay, it's not perfect, but all right. So it's going to come down there, and then we're gonna rest from 15, 25, so 10. So 55 to 65. Let me just give myself a bunch of frames here. Okay, rest from 55. Excuse me. To 65 right there, keyframe, and then I'm gonna grab this one, and what do I want? 15, right? 65 to 80. Oh, there's math involved in this. 80, yeah, get rid of that. There, motion between there, and then it's gonna come back. Beautiful. All right, and then right at that point, we're gonna stop. So grab another stop, just put it in there. Okay, and I'll probably delete these. I don't think I need them. Let me see if this is working. Okay, so go to false, and then it'll come down here, stop, and then go back there. Okay, cool. Now, let's lock that all up, and that's going good. Have we... yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, where are my markers? My checkers. Okay, right there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go into this, and these are going to change color. Okay, so this is going to be marker. And let's lock it for a second. Actions. And I'm going to put 3 of these babies. And we're going to put a stop right there. And I'm going to copy that to everyone. 1, 2. Now, at the beginning, it's going to be gray. And here, it's going to be green. Okay. And here, it's going to be red. And I'm doing that for both of them. And I'm going to call this marker 1. And let's come over to this one and call this one marker 2. Now, they're both the same. They're both the same symbol. So if you go in there, see, it's the same 3 frames. But their identification is different. So they're labeled there. And let's, by the way, make sure that the body of this has an instance name so I can call to it. And we are really moving ahead. We're going to be ready for some cool animation very soon. Now, let's try this. Let's do this. Okay. When the ball gets to here, I want this marker to light up green because this is going to be true. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to say at this point, I'm going to put a keyframe. And I'm going to say root.marker1. That's the one on the left. No, not yet. Root.body, because it's within the body. .marker1. Go to and stop 2. Which will make it turn green. And I want it to stay green while that's there. And then I think just as it leaves, okay, not right there, but just one after it, I'm going to put a keyframe. And I'm going to say root.body.marker1.go to and stop 1, back to 1. Save it. Okay, now what that's going to do is when the ball gets to here, the marker is going to turn green. All right, and when it gets to here, it's going to lose the green, go back to normal. Now I'm going to do a similar thing on this side. I'm going to come up here, F6, and I'm going to say root.body.marker2.go to and stop. But this time it's frame 3. That's the red frame. And one past here, root.marker2. Body again. Oops. Body.marker2 .go to and stop, back to 1, back to the normal state. Save. Lock everything up. Okay, I think we're in good shape. So when the ball comes down, it's going to go green on that side, and that side's going to go red. So I think we got to get ready to get this, to animate this ball now. So it's when we press the check button that's going to move the ball. So let's try this. Okay, let's just come right up here. On press, that button's going to do that, and on release, it's going to go back. So let's also say this. Root.body. Now, I got to check something. I'm not sure if I reference the ball right. I got to come back into the body. So the ball is not, that's just the body. And then it's it just goes. Okay, so I'm not even going to reference the ball, I guess. So let's just try this. Root.body. Go to and play true. Assume that the first question is true. Let's give it a try. How about that? Press, green, release. Press, green, release. Okay, so that's what we would do for a true question. And we're really doing well here. We're really moving along. So what we could do at this point is, from here on, it's just basically, we got to code these things, and it's just going to be repeating. All right, so let's do that. Let's come up here. Let's create another frame. It says F5 for everything. Let's drag the stop over. Okay, now what do we need to repeat? We're going to need a new question, so F6. No, that's not right. Sorry, that's text. Questions right here. F6 there. We're going to need new next buttons. I'll show you why. And new check button. Okay, that should be good enough. So let's come up here to the questions on frame 2. And this is our first question. So let's duplicate this symbol, call it Q1. Instance it just in case I need that. And here we go. We're going to do our first question. Now, the first thing was true, right? So let's do something false so that you can see the ball move the other way. So let's say, I don't know what this is going to be. Let's go for digestive system. All right. Let's say chemical digestion begins in the stomach. Now, let's see if that's going to be big enough to fill in the space, or if we want a bigger question. Yeah, let's make it a little bit bigger. I'm just going to throw some words in and say in humans. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, whoops, that's not what I want to do. That is absolutely not what I want to do. I'm going to say chemical digestion using enzymes begins in the stomach. All right, not much of a difference. It's not really a very good question or anything, but all right, we'll just center it out. Looks reasonable there. Okay, so we have our second question. It's going to be false because chemical digestion begins in the oral cavity or mouth. And so I'm going to come to the next buttons, and I'm coming to the first frame. And this is where I need to add some more code. So on press, that happens. On release, I'm going to come up in here, and I'm going to say root.goto and stop frame 2. All right. That's in the first frame so that it brings us to the second frame. So let's try that out, see if it works. There, brings us to the question. Now this one's not working yet, so let's set that up. For the moment, this one, I'm just going to say root.goto and stop 1. On the second frame, though, that's where we may want to go forward or back. And at this point, I'm also going to say root.goto and stop 1, so that when we're at the second question and I press the back button, we go back to the beginning, forward, and this won't go any further now. Okay, so now you might feel that this text is a little bit small, or you might not like centering it, so you could adjust that, but I'm going to leave it for the time being. I am going to save what I got, and this question is false. So we need to get this check button, and this is why I created another sort of instance of it. It's going to load it on the first frame. It's also going to load it again on the second frame. And that's so all I have to do is I can just go in here and I can change this. I want to say play false this time. And you'll note if I go back to the first frame and I look at that, it still says true. So I'm not going into the symbol. I'm just adding code on it. And in order to do that, I have to have a new copy of it every time, and this is going to go on for about like 30 frames. But this is such a small graphic, it's like next to nothing in size, so that's totally fine. So let's see if that works. So here's the first one, just to show us a quick test. Okay, so that's how it works. Goes to true. Let's advance, goes to the next question. So let's hope it goes to there. It does, and it lights up red. Isn't that cool? Okay, I can't do the true one unless I go there. All right, now everything's working fine. And to go on, all we have to do is repeat. So F5, drag in this. I'm going to grab all 3 of these frames, press F6 because I'm going to be making a new one. Coming to the question layer, duplicate it in the 3rd frame. I'm going to call this question 2. I'm going to instance it. And let's make another true one and say salivary amylase is the enzyme that digests starch. Okay, just to see what it's like if it's that big. That looks fine. Okay, that one's going to be true. But by the way, let's adjust our next button. Let me make sure that I did that. So on the second frame, I want to advance to the 3rd frame. So I'm going to go this on press. What have I done? Yeah, I need this, right? I want to tell it where to go. So on the second one, on release, root.goto and stop 3. So from the second frame, that'll go to 3rd frame. This one should be good to go back. And when I'm on the 3rd frame, this one I'm going to set right now. That's going to say go to the 4th frame on the root timeline. And this one, this is going to go back to the 2nd frame. So that should work. And so I've set the next button. I've set the questions. Let's do the check button now. I want this to be true. Okay. Lock that up. Save. Let's test it from the beginning. Okay. If you hit that, it's going to go nowhere yet. Check. Works good. Okay. First question, false. Next question, true. Go back. Still works. Go back. Still works. Okay, so everything's cool. Now, one thing you can do just to keep track of everything, on my text layer, let's say I could drag out somewhere one. This is not what I want to do. I want to put this on. I'll put it on its own layer. Edit, paste in place. Question number, let's say, if you wanted that, and just figure out where you want this, and keep it there. Let's say I was happy with that. Then I could go over here. Actually, that's question one. This is there's no question at this point. That's just the intro, so I'm just going to delete it from there. And then we go question one, and then just drag it over here and change it. Let me zoom in a bit. Okay. Sorry, you guys have been looking so far away. There's question two. All right, so now, when you do this, I got no question there. This is question one. This is question two. Test it. That one was true. Question one. That one was false. All right, I'll go on and do one more just to show you everything. So I'm going to go F5 there. I'm going to drag this stop over. I probably hit F6, so I'm going to clear these keyframes. Basically, you don't want to reload things that you don't have to. All right, I will have a new question number there. I'll just up it to 3, and then that's good. Lock that up. Let's do the question first. Come over here, grab this, and let's duplicate this symbol. This is going to be question 3. Instance it, and let's do another false one. Okay, so what's false? Let's say the small intestine only. Yeah, that's a bad question. Let's get something cool. Let's get something real. Another enzyme one. No, hormone. The hormone insulin from the pancreas, which is true, raises blood sugar. Okay, let's do that and see how that fits, because getting into more lines. That's perfect. Then that fits. I think it's perfect. Yeah, it's great. Okay, this is question 3. That's good. That's false. So let's go to the check button. Let's change this to false. Okay, that's good. And of course, every time, I've got a new copy of it. Let's go to the next button. And what I'll do with this one is once you get, say, to the end of the quiz, I might do one more and say end of quiz. So I'll change that to go up to the 5th frame. And we'll change this one. We're on frame 4 right now. We'll go back to the 3rd frame. Okay. Lock it up, save it, and let's test it. Okay. Yep. First question, chemical digestion begins using enzymes in the stomach. That's not true. Let's go to the question 2. Salivary amylase is the enzyme that digests starch. True. Let's go to the next one. Question 3. The hormone insulin from the pancreas raises blood sugar. Oh, that doesn't sound right. That's false. Good. And okay, so now if I go to the next one, it doesn't do anything, but that one should go back to 2. It does. Let's just end it at this point. Let's say that was it. F5. Not F6. I'm going to drag the stop over. I'm going to get rid of the question number because this is going to be the end of the quiz. So I'm going to hit F7 to clear that. It's gone. All right. Questions, I do want to go F6. I want a new question. I'll keep the next buttons. So F6 and the check button. I'm not just going to get rid of it. I'll just keep it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what I decide to do with it. So let's go up to the questions, and let's just go duplicate system questions. I'll call it question 4, just for the fun of it. And I'm going to say this at the end. Congratulations. You can spell. You passed the quiz. Okay, you do something like that. That's the end of it. Congratulations. Yeah. That's the end of the quiz. That's obviously true. So just for the fun of it, if they wanted to do something, you could say, hey, yeah, that's true. All right, you don't really need that part. And I just want to show you now for the next buttons, what I would do is I would say for this one, I would say go back to 1. All right, and I'll show you what that does. And this one, go back to 4. And now if you were to test it, all right, you do the first one, you do the first question was false, do the second one, that one was going to be true, do the next one, that one's of course false, and then you're going to come to the last screen. That's it, congratulations, yeah, okay, that's true, it is congratulations. And if you go back, you go back to that one, but if you go ahead from this, you just go back to the very beginning. All right, so let me just see if there's anything else that I needed to talk to you about. You know, the one last thing that I can think of that I am dying to do, because I really feel like it needs this, just above the body layer, grab the rectangle, get rid of the stroke, just to fill with the ellipse, drag this out, make this about 15, let's say, turn it, and bring this over here, and drop it down, and I don't know, you convert it to a symbol, I guess. Highlight. Highlight. You know, and if you want to be really cool, what you could do is you could do another one, like a small one there, and bring it down, you know, bring it down here somewhere. You know, I am not a really good graphic artist, and so I don't know if that works or not. No, actually, that doesn't work. Okay, I take that back. I will get rid of this one, and I'm actually going to make this one even like 10. Okay, I might tilt it a bit more too. You know, it's just there. You know, and I don't know, it. You could work on this a little bit more, but it just adds a bit. So that's, I think that's about it, actually. You could spend a lot of time customizing the graphics here, but that's a little quiz with a bit of animation and you know, showing, you know, visually whether or not the answer is true or false to this. And you could make any number of quizzes. I mean, once you've got the basics down here, all you got to do is go in and edit the questions, and you know, you could do it for different subjects or whatever, or different topics, and just change your check and that kind of thing, and have fun, you know, designing something cool. So yeah, that's what we got. And really, it's you know, if we have a look at this tutorial 2, right here, I'll export this. I mean, it's only got like 3 questions right now, but if I export this, say, to the desktop, I'll call it, you know, tutorial 2. Let me just make sure it's not compressed or anything. You know, tutorial 2. It says it's 12K. You know, and there it is. You can, you know, make it nice and big. You know, and it's small and it's cute, something to do. All right, so hope that helped. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.